This is the new 2015 Ford F-150. Personally, I think this is a nice looking rig. Not bad from the rear either. And they shipped it all the way from Michigan just for little old me. This is an interesting headlight design. In fact, we took it out last night to evaluate the performance of the lights. So let's run that clip right now. Look pretty potent from this angle, but I guess we'll see. From a distance of 100 feet, we get a good spread, although the beam isn't very strong. We'll try the high beam. Yeah, there we go. A real nice spread. Now we're at 300 feet on high beams. Does reach out, light up the whole building. Drop to low beam, drops off at the base, so more than adequate for city driving. Overall, the headlight system's pretty good. Not as powerful as it looked from the opposite end, but still very good. This is what a full-size truck is good for, hauling junk. Now, there are two radical differences on the F-150 that you don't get on other trucks. Number one, the aluminum body that you might have read about is supposed to save a lot of weight. And this brand new 2.7 liter engine, what's that, about 170 something cubic inches? Tiny engine that's supposed to put the big V8s to shame. Well, we'll see. Now, Ford will tell you that this new aluminum body saves around 700 to 900 pounds, depending on which article you read. I think this is part of the aluminum here, sure feels like it. What they don't tell you is the 700-pound savings is compared to the older F-150s. If you compare it to some other brand trucks, the savings is actually more like 300 to 400 pounds. We did this video in August, which is the hottest month of the year in the desert. All week it's been 115 to 117 degrees. So we decided to take it about 100 miles north to the forest, where it's a little bit cooler. We did that this morning, and I was joking, hey, what if it hails and tears up that aluminum body? And guess what happened? Well, here's the video. See for yourself. We're in the middle of a hailstorm. It should be interesting to see if it tears up this aluminum body. Nice smooth road. Bottom line, this truck got blasted in a hailstorm for about 20 minutes. Yes, in August. And amazingly, there's no damage. So I guess this aluminum body holds up pretty well. Ford says the overall weight on this vehicle is 4,300 pounds if you get the 4x4, and just a bit over 4,000 if you get the 2x4. That's pretty light. There are a lot of internet trolls that are saying I would never own a truck made out of aluminum beer cans, it won't hold up, blah blah blah. People get used to it. I guarantee you in 5 years all the GM, Dodge, and Toyota full-size trucks are going to have aluminum bodies. It's coming. Enough about the body, let's get to the core, and that's the engine under the hood. Now there are 4 engines available in the F-150. You get a 5.0 liter V8 at 385 horse, a conventional V6, 3.5 liters at 282 horse. Then there's the twin turbo 3.5 V6, putting out 365 horsepower. And we got the little dinky 2.7 liter twin turbo EcoBoost, putting out 325 horsepower. And here it is. When we're talking about trucks, horsepower really means nothing. It's torque that runs everything. And here we get impressive stats. The big 5.0 liter V8 puts out 387 foot-pounds of torque at 3,800 RPM. But this little engine puts out 375 foot-pounds of torque at a low 3,000 RPM. So in the real world, it actually outperforms the V8 as far as pulling power. At this point, I put about 200 miles on this engine, and I can tell you on a scale of 1 to 10, it's definitely a 10 as far as performance goes. For starters, it's quick. Hitting 0 to 60 in around 6.7 seconds thus far. Nice brakes, by the way. Which means on the lighter two-wheel drive, you're looking around 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. Now, Car and Driver magazine said 5.8 seconds, but I think they lie a bit. In any case, this engine is flawless. It doesn't matter if you're going low speed, low RPM, high RPM, low grade, high grade. You simply press the gas pedal and it moves like magic. This engine is perfect. You really got to drive it and see for yourself. And the bottom end torque is simply great. And the engine's smooth and quiet too. By the way, you'll be happy to know this turbo engine takes standard unleaded instead of premium. And for these people on the internet saying you need to use premium to get better performance, they're lying to you. Paying extra for premium is a waste of money. Won't make any difference at all. This brings us to the real-world fuel economy. Now, Ford claims that these EcoBoost engines offer power of the V8s to the economy of the smaller 6s. Well, maybe. This 2.7 liter in four-wheel drive form is rated 18 in the city, 23 miles per gallon on the highway, with an average of 20. My real-world fuel economy in the city was 15.1 miles per gallon. Which isn't too bad considering the power, the torque, and the fact I had my foot in it quite a bit. Number 2, I took this on some highway trips. Highway trip number 1, I did 110 miles and got 23 miles per gallon. But that was going downhill from an elevation of 5,500 feet to 2,000 feet. But on the other trip, going from 2,000 feet back up to 5,500 feet at the same mileage, it dropped to 15 miles per gallon, which isn't good at all. So we take the 23 mpg on the downgrade and the 15 mpg on the upgrade, add them up, divide by 2, that gives me a highway mileage of 19 miles per gallon. I got on the Edmunds.com website and they took one of these on a 630 mile trip in California and they got 18.8 on the highway, so I think my highway mileage is pretty accurate. If we take the 15 city, 19 highway, divide it up, that comes to an average of 17 mpg in mixed commuting. Car and Driver magazine took one of these on a 1,000 mile trip and got 16 in mixed commuting, so I think my figures are pretty accurate on that too. It's like this, folks, you don't get something for nothing. There's no way you're going to design an engine, regardless of the size, to out-torque a V8 and expect gas mileage of a 4-cylinder. It just doesn't work. Another advantage we didn't mention about this 2.7 liter EcoBoost is cost. If you get the big 3.5 EcoBoost, it's $2,000 extra. If you get the 5.0 V8, it's $1,600 extra. But this engine is only $700 extra. That's a lot of performance for $700 bucks. Personally, I think the base non-turbo V6 is more than adequate for daily transportation, but if you're looking for a performance engine at low cost, this is definitely worth it. Just keep in mind your real-world gas mileage is going to be 15 to 19, not 23. And if you get the two-wheel drive, that should jump up to 16 to 20. Speaking of fuel economy, the Ford F-150 has one feature that's very annoying. I don't like it. It's the start-stop system. Theoretically, in order to save fuel, it shuts the engine down at a stoplight and it turns it on when you move. It doesn't really save gas. And it also makes the air conditioning shut down, which isn't good in the summertime. In other vehicles, you can turn it off by pushing a button, but on the F-150, you have to get on the computer here, go up and down to turn it off every time you start the vehicle. It's a bad system. I wish Ford would just do away with it. They should know better. But that's what you're stuck with. But I'm willing to forgive Ford for that crappy start-stop system, because overall this is a much improved truck. Has great steering feel, far better than the previous F-150s, and this particular combination had one of the smoothest rides I've ever had in a truck. Add to this nice styling on the outside, a good interior on the inside, and I can tell you I'm very impressed with this Ford F-150. I think they're going to sell a lot of these. We just finished testing some GMC trucks. If you want to watch those video tests, here's the link right up here in the window. All you have to do is press and watch.